Loyal is defined in the dictionary as faithful to a cause, ideal, custom, institution, or product. At United Cycle, you could add in staff, as some have been with the store nearly 30 years, and others are part of the second generation to be hired.
New mechanics get hired on, and they get introduced to me, and they say he's been with the company for 15 years. You know, their jaws just drop like, what? And to me, I think that's probably the biggest successes to a company. Long-term employment with staff. Loyalty goes both ways. This company, they will, for anybody, whether you've been here a few months or you've been here 25 years, if the staff member ever needs anything, the company and the owners, there's no boundaries. If you need something and they can do it for you, they will make it happen.
The feeling that you had when you worked at United was you never wanted to let the Brooks family down. I worked daily with Wilf, but you know, Reg was the patriarch. Reg was the patriarch of the family, and your feeling you had was that you never wanted to let those folks down. It was a family business. It felt like a family business. It didn't feel like a big sporting goods operation at all. It felt like you were working for people, and the feeling that you had every day was that I have to be at my best, I have to do my best, because I don't want to let Reg and Wilf down.
I'm from Vietnam, right? I just bold people. When I come to Canada, the first place I landing is Edmonton, Ontario. Yeah, I've been worked there for a year, and then my whole family is moved from there to Edmonton. And I tried to looking a job for a motorcycle mechanic. And then first time, and I just stopped by the United Cycle and looking for my first job in Edmonton. And then they just get me is Miss Red Book. Yeah. And then they just hired me, and I just keep doing motorcycle for a couple of years, and then I go for the bicycle and then skate shopping. Here is like I have to talk, like say is meet Wilf, Rod, Iola, Joe, Jason. They treat me like a member of the family. That's why I stayed that long.
United Cycle isn't just a sporting goods store. Over the years, the Brooks family have employed hundreds of people.
I remember one time I had a discussion with Reg Brooks, Wilf's dad, and he was a little frustrated at that particular day about something that had happened in the business or something. And I remembered saying to him, I said, Reg, why don't you just get rid of this? Like, you don't need this headache, you know, like, why don't you just sell the whole thing and go on and do something else? And he told me, he said, it's not quite that simple. He said, you know, he says, I have a responsibility to the people that work here to provide an opportunity for them. So he said, it's not just about me. And, you know, I've never forgotten that, because that's a bigger view than I think what a lot of people have about owning a business. So those are the types of, you might say, principles and things that I think that were evident, and they were worked out in a practical basis on almost a day-to-day thing.
Definitely. There's certain expectations and responsibility that falls on your shoulders as a fourth-generation person in a successful business, in terms of the family and in terms of keeping up the success of the business. But also there's over 140 people depending on their livelihoods in this company.
United Cycle has sent many a customer home happy with their purchases. It has also sent many a staff member home happy with a mate.
Brother Rod found his wife, and a couple of nieces found their mates, and there's been several weddings over the years with our staff, and that's exciting.
I don't know if it's like-minded people who end up in the same place, but there's definitely a story there. We've had countless family weddings, myself included.
My brother and I always joke about how when we met Wilf's daughters and asked them to marry him, we called it getting on the bonus plan. So it's kind of an internal family joke between us. So
my husband was on the United Cycle racing team, and I sold him a bicycle helmet. And it just kind of went from there. I actually tried to set him up with one of my friends, and we went out, and he had no interest in her and apparently had an interest in me, and it just kind of went from there. And we've been married now for over a year, and just customer service, I guess.
When United Cycle moved in 1994 to its Gateway Boulevard location, it replicated some of the character storefronts from Old Strathcona. Those storefronts come with stories.
We did some cross promotions where for some reason I would end up with a few $1,000s worth of bike helmets in my high-end women's dress store, but somehow we made it work, and Wilf got the message across that safety was important to people. He was pushing helmets when it was still, you'd get beat up if you were wearing a helmet in my neighborhood. So he started a lot of safety programs that you see are absolutely mainstream now. Most kids today automatically put a helmet on when they ride their bike. You and I would never have done that, but I think you can give Wilf and United Cycle and all their team a lot of credit for introducing those kind of things into the fabric of sporting goods.
From bicycle helmets to silly summer parades, United Cycle has always been active in the community at large.
The Canada Day parades, I remember all the Canada Day parades. Every year we'd have to go on a Canada Day parade, and as you get older you don't want to do the Canada Day parade, but no, you always have to do the United Canada Day parade, and it's fun.
And so, without any further ado, now in all its glory, it is time to reveal the 12.5-foot high, 850-pound newest addition to the United Cycle Linear Museum.
It was in 2002, I think. I knew then that it had to be a legacy for hockey in our Linear Museum, and I knew it had to be Stanley.
In the fall of 2007, the crazy initiative was a 12-foot Stanley Cup trophy in the United Cycle parking lot.
I thought he was nuts. I couldn't believe he was going to... He kept it pretty quiet for a long time. At least for me, he did. And I thought, there's no way you're going to be able to pull this out. And I couldn't... In my mind, I couldn't imagine how this thing's going to work. I could understand how you could duplicate a Stanley Cup, but not put all the names on it. I couldn't believe you could do that. And when you see this, this accomplishment, and when you see this trophy at this size, it's just amazing to me. It's unbelievable that you can put that type of detail into it, but not surprising. I think it's a great gift to the city, and I think it's a great landmark for this area on the south side, and in the county, in the Strathcona area here, and I just think it's something, to me that I'm very proud of it, and I pointed out, our bus comes right down this road when we come in to play the Oilers, and I'm telling you, the bus slows down and almost stops because the players want to see this thing, and it's a pretty neat landmark.
Buses full of NHL players aren't the only people stopping by for a look.
Because we're Canadian, and it's the right thing to do. We love hockey.
Both of ours, actually, because we saw that it was here and we thought it would be a great place next to the Wayne Gretzky statue to have our pictures taken.
Wilf is a man of dreams. He's a man of vision. He can put together all kinds of ideas. He has a networking that is unbelievable. My job in all of this over the years has been to dot the I's and cross the T's behind the scenes, and to make sure that all of his visions and ideas and things are going to happen in terms of the staff understanding it and everything's ready for the event and stuff like that. I think that's why we've been successful in business as a family, is that each of us knew our positions. Now, we never knew the position, we were just different. We were very different people, Rod, Wilf, and myself. And we just supported each other and came alongside of each other automatically, and as we grew, we just kept doing it.
It's funny, I can be listening on the radio and hear a write-up about a new program or a new initiative or something that's happening, and then I get home and I call and I say, "Are you behind this? Because that sounds really Wilf." And so sure, we have some fun with it, but at the same time, the enthusiasm and the positive energy and the willingness to take chances It's infectious and it's admirable.